What's up, guys, and welcome to an impromptu. We have big breaking news today. All right, we're not breaking it, but it's big, and it broke a little bit ago. All right, Dwayne Haskins is no longer the starting quarterback for the Washington football team, a.k.a. our beloved Redskins. Unbelievable. Kyle Allen is getting the start. What do you think about this?
Well, it's all brand new. I'm okay with it. I know I've been listening for the last how many weeks that Dwayne's not the guy, and I'm a little surprised because I thought that he was going to get another start, and he did throw for over 300 yards, maybe one of his better performances. So it was a little surprising of the timing of it, but not shocking.
Fair enough. Yeah, I did not see this coming at all. I did get some thoughts on the Ron Rivera press conference. So if we want to go over to what he's saying first, and then we can go over our own thoughts of what's going behind the scenes that he, of course, he would never, ever tell us. All right. So basically,
So you did find it. I looked earlier. So you found a press conference? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Okay. So basically, what's going on right now, according to Ron Rivera, is that he is seeing a wide open division. Anybody can take this division, right? We're only a half game behind the Eagles, and we already beat the Eagles once. So he's seeing a wide open opportunity to win the division potentially. On top of that, the next 4 games, he says, are critical. We have 4 conference games, 3 of them being division games. We have the Rams, the Giants, the Cowboys, and then the Giants again. So the sense I'm getting from him is this is a 4-game opportunity for Kyle Allen. Why did he choose Kyle Allen? He says he wants to go with a guy that has been in the system, right? And he's said multiple times, it's not fair to Dwayne Haskins. I know, he didn't have an offseason. He didn't have preseason games. But, quote, he is not getting it right now, is what he says about Haskins. So he's like, I want to win. I have an opportunity to win. The guys in this locker room want to win. So I'm going to go with the guy that I think gives us the best chance to win. Anything on that so far?
No, it makes sense. I thought it had a lot to do with the fact that, at 1-3, they weren't 2 or 3 games out of the division lead, where he could have kept the idea of, hey, let's just try to develop. That he's got to manage a locker room, and I'm sure there's a lot of players in there going, dude, that's, what's the deal? So he's got to keep, if he's going to keep control or keep the locker room his side, he's got to, now that they have a chance to win, he can't keep this attitude of, no, we're just developing. As I think it showed, I said this last night in the Ravens game where he actually called timeouts, where in previous games, he didn't call timeouts. Like he was like, I'm developing a football team, but now, with being a half game out of first place and beating the team that's in first place, that he's got to show his guys that, hey, I believe in you. Let's take a shot at this. So I get that
for sure. So yeah, I mean, he kept saying things like it's not an indictment on Dwayne. He's got an NFL arm. He just doesn't have NFL experience right now. It's crazy, but it's not he keeps saying it's not an indictment on what Haskins saying is basically what it comes down to. But the crazy part is Haskins is not even going to dress on Sunday because Alex Smith is officially named the backup. So Alex Smith
right there makes it an indictment on Dwayne Haskins.
See, but he snakes out. Well, he snakes out of that with he wants his backup to be somebody that's also got experience and also has experience within this system. So the reason that Kyle Allen is starting is because he had all the offseason reps. He had all the training camp reps. He's been the backup to Dwayne the whole time. So he's got more, he's fresh. He's more fresh on the playing field right now than Alex Smith is. But I get the sense that he would probably rather would go with Alex Smith because he's obviously the most experienced quarterback on the roster and has
the best game manager.
Yeah, exactly. But right now he hasn't gotten all the stuff, so he's giving Kyle Allen an opportunity to try to potentially even win this job, but at least give us a chance to win and be a playoff team, potentially. Maybe a bad playoff team, but this division's wide open. If you win the division, you're in.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. So,
yeah.
Very, very interesting. So that's what we're hearing from Ron Rivera. Okay.
Well, of course, and let me just say, I'm not shocked that we didn't hear anything else from Ron Rivera. He knows football, and he is a guy that's not going to air out the dirty laundry, but I think there's something more to this, but he said what he's got to say, because who knows if he might end up having to rely on Haskins again if things go really bad and, heaven forbid, Kyle Allen gets hurt and then Alex Smith can't perform or something happens to him. Now he's got Dwayne Haskins as his only option. He can't alienate him right now of saying, okay, I don't believe in you. He's gone. He's never going to play for us again. And we just, he's never going to say that. So he said what he had to say.
Right. Yeah. Right? So, when I first heard about this stuff, my thoughts were, this is an indictment on Haskins. Right?
Yes.
And my 100%. Indictment was not necessarily how he was playing. Excuse me. But my indictment was, I don't think he's being very coachable. Now, obviously, I'm not in the locker room, so I can't say it for sure. But here's my reasons, or here's my evidence for this thought process. It's because of things like after the Browns game. Reporters are asking, why were you staring down your receivers? His response is not even the generic, oh, well, I got to look at the film. I don't know exactly what happened, blah, blah, blah. It was, no, I'm not. No, I wasn't. Yeah, you were. We all saw it. The commentators were commentating on it, slow motion, looking at your helmet, staring down the receiver the whole way. Don't tell us, no, you didn't.
If you don't get that, you're the last person that got it.
Right. So that's his response. So that's evidence number one. Evidence number two is there was a time before the season started, Thomas Davis, one of our experienced linebackers, I think he has like 10 years of experience, kind of knows what he's talking about. He comes up to the young quarterback and says, quit staring down your receivers. Is his response, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for looking out. I appreciate that. I'll take that advice. No, that's not his experience. That's not his response. It's, I'm not staring down my receivers. I didn't stare him down. It's like,
yeah,
and Thomas Davis.
What the hell do you know?
Yeah, Thomas Davis is looking at him like, I was trying to kill that. I was getting ready to kill that dude because you were staring him down. Like, he was going, you almost got your dude killed, right? So,
right.
Don't, again, that's number two. Number three, again, with the press conference, is that 4th and 13 play. He's asked about that. It's got to go to the end zone. It's like, well, I found a guy who was open. I threw it to the guy that I thought I was going on. He's defending, like, his natural instincts are to defend his actions. And right. I'm afraid that that's going into the locker room or into the meeting rooms where Scott Turner's looking at it like, we got to make this play. You have to make this read here. You have to step up here. You can't take the sack here. You can't throw here. You can't do whatever. And his response is not, you're right, coach. All right, let me look into, all right, yeah, I see what you're doing there. Here's what I'm seeing, but okay, I see what you're,
that. Yep.
Yeah, I'll work on that. It's not that. It's his initial response. His gut instinct is to say, but I threw it to an open guy. Or I got it to an open dude. Or I did this. I saw that. But look at this. No, what are you talking about? What are you seeing here? Like, it's a confrontational aspect, and it might be because he's looking into the social media, seeing all these things of staring down your receivers, not being good enough, not making the right decisions, blah, 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 blah. And then he hears that from the coach, and his initial mindset is, you're just like all those people on the internet. You just don't want me to succeed. You just don't like me. I'm just a black quarterback you don't want to see succeed. Blah, 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 blah. He lets him all these things get into his head that's not allowing him to learn what these coaches are trying to teach him, try to succeed in this system, and do what the coaches want. And Ron Rivera, and you could go after this, Ron Rivera's made it extremely clear. Do it my way, and it falls on me. Don't do it your way.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
If you can't do it my way, then there's the door. See ya.
Right.
But I think, and we talked about this earlier before we got on air, that this is not new or a revelation for Scott Turner and Ron Rivera. If in fact this is the way that Dwayne Haskins is, that they were kind of gave the impression that, hey, I think in fact yesterday Rivera said the game on Sunday is his. It's his to lose. Like he was going to let him play. So, and I think you agreed with me when we talked about this, or I agreed with you. We were saying the same thing, that he did something between yesterday and today that made Ron Rivera say, "Okay, I'm done with you." He pissed him off, or he did something, because yesterday it was, and like I said, Haskins threw for over 300 yards against the Ravens. Not a great performance, but not a terrible performance as a young quarterback that only has, between 10 and 15 starts. It wasn't his performance was not something that in 24 hours would have made the coaches would have watched.
32 for 45, 71% completion percentage, 314 yards, and a QB rating of 90.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, that performance was not the kind of performance that when Ron Rivera had a chance to look at the film, that he saw something where he was like, okay, he's not my guy. Something happened, and we may never know what it was, but something happened where Dwayne said something or did something, whatever, where Ron Rivera was like, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably, my speculation, but I bet he said it in the back room, you will never play another game for the Redskins, because that's what all.
Well, that's real dramatic. I don't know if he said that or not, but that's, you're taking it to a nice another level, I guess.
There was a guy on Sports Talk
taking it up.
Yeah, well, a guy on Sports Talk, and I cannot remember his name, but one of the insiders of Redskins, Zabin asked him, he said, is there any chance that Dwayne Haskins regains the starting job, or is he done? And the guy said, he is done as a Redskin. And this is an insider, and I can't think of this, but this guy was saying...
Was it Finley or...
it wasn't... Wait, it might have been Finley.
JP Finley?
But that's possible, and I'm sorry, I was driving, so I didn't really pay attention to his name. But he said, basically to Zabin's question, will he play a snap? Will he be the quarterback for the Redskins? Or will he play a snap as a quarterback again? He goes, not for the Redskins. So the insiders, which are usually right, not always, but they have some kind of insight that says that Dwayne Haskins is done as a Redskin. So that kind of shocked me, because I thought, okay, maybe he needs time to develop. Maybe he's going to sit on the bench for a while and they come back to him. But this guy's going, nope, he is done.
Well, if he's hearing anything that what we're saying, that's most likely true. And if it is what I think it is, what I've just described to you, what I think it is, he's not going to take this well. He ain't going to take a benching well. And he's not going to be a good teammate. He's not going to be, helping out everybody else and wanting other people to succeed. It's going to be a much more of a spiteful attitude. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want that to be the case. But based on how I've seen him interact with teammates and players, video evidence, this is what I think, this is kind of what I'm thinking about it, this situation. So, very, very unfortunate for Haskins. Anything else on Haskins? Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say before we move on, I thought I recalled last year where they were showing him on the sideline pumping the guys up late in the season, like he was actually, they were trying to say that he was a pretty good leader. I'm trying to remember which game it was, but I remember him standing inside the offensive line, the guys on the offensive line going, basically pumping him up and saying, you're doing great. We got this. And they kind of rallied around him. So I cannot remember what game it was. Maybe you can recall what I'm talking about. But
I know
they
what you're
made a
talking
big
about.
deal
I don't
of it.
know. I don't know what the game was. I can't remember now. I do remember what you're talking about. Him kind of pleading to his offensive line, like, "What can I do to like make it better or whatever?" Blah blah blah. Like, how can I improve the situation? Whatever, these kind of things.
Yeah.
Which
And they kind of
yeah.
rallied around. And the only other thing before we move on, I wanted to say is that the difference of this year that over other years is that the reporters would have had an opportunity to come into the locker room, and of course they would have made a beeline, like Sunday's game, for example. Um, After the game, they open up the locker room where they allow the media, and they would have made a beeline to Dwayne Haskins. Well, with the new COVID thing, they don't have that option. So the team has much more control over the communications. And the first thing we're going to hear from Dwayne Haskins is probably on Instagram or Twitter or something. And that's most likely where we're going to hear from him first, because the team is not going to make him available to the media.
Yeah, no, after Ron Rivera spoke, I didn't catch all of it because I wanted to watch a little bit of film on Kyle Allen from last year, but I did not watch. The Scott Turner came on after the fact, and I also saw that Kyle Allen came on. So yeah, there was no Haskins to talk to, which is very interesting. Very, very. That's something that they're chomping at the bit to ask some questions of the young quarterback that got benched.
Yeah, they're in the dead zone. They're not going to be able to interview him. The first response we're going to hear from him is going to be on social media.
Probably. So, just a few comments real quick. Spilled F Gaming is back. What's up, man? I'm getting lit. Oh man, sorry about Haskins. Hey. Chrissy, what's up, man? He goes, my man Tim is back on YouTube, the best show on YouTube. Appreciated. Haskins is now.
We might debate that, but only because I'm here.
Then he says, I know Haskins is now benched. Now we can win some games. We'll win on Sunday. It'll give the defense a boost, and our offense, I think they should have announced Kyle Allen right before Sunday. That way the Rams could not prepare for him. Fair enough. Interesting.
By the way, Chase Young is in. Did you hear that?
Oh, Chase Young is back? I did not hear that. That's cool. Good.
I read that he is going to play on Sunday. So.
Yep. Chrissy says they would have game planned for Haskins, but it's fine. We're about to go on a 5-game win streak. Confidence.
I like it.
Not
sure where it comes from, but I like it.
I always like optimists' predictions more than mine. Okay, I always like that, So, good
That's
deal.
Me.
So, how are we going to win? And we have Kyle Allen from last year. He played 14 games last year for the Panthers. He had 17 touchdowns, 16 interceptions.
Games, by the way.
13? I thought it was after week 2.
Well, I'm just reading. I'm looking at Pro Football Reference. They said games played 13, started 12.
Fair enough. Started 12, played 13. I thought Cam Newton got hurt week 2. Doesn't matter. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
13 games. Dad's on it. John's on it. We got it. So 13 games. He had 17 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 3,322 yards. Completed 62% of his passes. He also fumbled a whole heck of a lot, though. He did have 2 rushing touchdowns, but he fumbled the ball 13 times last year. So,
is that good?
Yeah, very, very concerning there. So a lot of people were, kind of crapping on him because he had a bad record, right? So he won 5 games and lost 8. So it was like, okay, he went 5-8. How good can this guy be, right? Well, you look at the teams that he lost to, besides us. We were terrible last year, and he did lose to us. That was a bad loss, right? But get ready for this, okay? Lost to San Francisco. Were they good last year? I think they may have been, 14-2, 13-3, something like that.
No, they were all right.
Green Bay. The other team in the NFC Championship game, 13-3. He lost to the Saints twice, 13-3. So that's 2 losses there. He lost to Seattle, Russell Wilson, Tough game there. And then they were ending at 11-5. His other two losses were Atlanta, who were a 7-9 team, but they lost to him when they were on a 6-2 run to finish the season. And Atlanta beat the Saints one game, who were 13-3 in that run, and they also beat San Francisco, who were 13-3 in that run. So Atlanta, yes, they finished 7-9, but they were a much better team than 7-9, especially down the stretch because they finished 6-2. So besides us, who we were 3-13, not 13-3, 3-13 last season. Besides us, basically every single loss was a loss on paper.
Yeah.
So his record doesn't really show, but he also beat a team like Tennessee, who made it to the championship game, the AFC championship game. They won 30-20. He beat Houston. He beat Arizona. Tampa Bay was mad last year because Jameis Winston threw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. He also threw 30 touchdowns. And they beat Jacksonville. So his wins were okay. His losses were respectable other than ours. So his win-loss total, if you just look at that, it's not really telling for what you have. So I didn't have a chance this afternoon to watch all of his games, but I did watch a couple and just took a couple notes. His first game, he looked pretty good. They beat Arizona 38-20. His final stat line was 19 for 26, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Pretty good stat line.
Pretty good.
And watching it, he had good pocket presence. He had a couple of his touchdowns. He made slight moves in the pocket to avoid some pressure and throw some nice throws on the run. He was accurate. He threw a couple of nice places down the middle to find Greg Olsen. He was pretty accurate throughout the game. Good play action. I thought he was really good at the play action to set up some deeper throws. And the stat line speaks for itself. Fantastic stat line. So after watching that, I was like, okay, that's like Kyle Allen basically at his best right now, right? From last season. Not many stat lines better than that. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 261 yards, and 73 completion percentage. So I was like, all right, let's go to a game that he played poorly in. So I went to the Atlanta game, which this one was much rougher. You had 31 for 50, 325 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. 5 and 11, not very good.
Well, yeah, but I'd still say again, and I'm guessing that 30 or what'd you say? What was it for 50? What was
31 for 50?
Okay, so not a bad percentage, but he obviously was behind. He was slinging the ball all over the place, and he took chances. And like I said, I would rather have a quarterback like that than somebody that throws for 150, doesn't get any touchdowns, and loses a game by 7. I want somebody that's out there gaming. Like a game's not going in my direction. I'm going to try to make something happen, a la Brett Favre. That it's like, no, I'm going to sling it and try to make plays, and the game didn't go well for him. But I'll take that every time.
Yep. So watching this, I was watching a bunch. In the first quarter, he was refusing to step up in the pocket. He took some bad sacks. Then the first sack that should have been a sack, but he tried to throw it away, ends up being an interception because he is literally falling as he throws, and he throws it right into the linebacker's hands. Tough play. Trying to get rid of it, but it ends up being a horrible play. He made a bad play horrible. And another one in the first quarter, he took a 13-yard sack. He had a pocket to potentially step into. He just drops back, and I feel like he has a tendency to try to want to get out of the pocket around the tackles. So the tackles just ran upfield, and he ends up running right into a tackle really quickly into the play. Tries to step in. Again, later in the first quarter, a 9-yard sack. Same situation. Backs up, tries to get outside, doesn't step into a pocket that's there. So the second interception, he finally steps into the pocket. But he looked completely uncomfortable while doing it. No, his feet weren't set. Nothing looked pretty about it. And he ends up throwing it right to the corner's hands. Doesn't even get close to DJ Moore on a post. Just right into the corner. So that was tough to see. Pick number 3 was with 17 seconds left. He tries to throw it into the end zone from the 22-yard line because they have no timeouts left. For some reason, DJ Moore just stops his route at the 7-yard line. Yeah, okay, there's a safety over top of you. We need a touchdown. We can't get tackled at the 7-yard line. Otherwise, we lose the time and we don't have time to spike it because it's literally the clock's ticking. There's probably 12 seconds, 13 seconds 11 seconds by the time he catches it. Trying to get to the line and spiking it beforehand would be a bear. So he throws it up thinking his receiver is going to be in the end zone, and the receiver just stops and he ends up throwing an easy interception for the safety because the safety had no contestant. Interception number 4 was pretty brutal. It was he was trying to make something happen, threw it right to the defender. Nothing spectacular there, but they were down 29-3 with about less than 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. He's just trying to chuck it downfield, give his receivers a chance, and it ended up being picked off. So tough to see that one. But the very next week, he comes against the Saints. 23 for 36, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Bounces back pretty good. His first touchdown, he steps into the pocket, he sets his feet, and delivers a 51-yard strike right to DJ Moore. Beautiful throw. Just that little bit can tell me that he's a little bit coachable, right? The game before, would not step into the middle of the pocket. One time he did not have his feet set, did not have a good game. Second drive of the game, he steps into the pocket, keeps his feet set, actually takes some pressure, and throws a nice bullet to DJ Moore. The rest of the game was okay, but they ended up taking the 13-3 Saints to 34-31. Saints make a walk-off field goal to win the game. So, tough. That was the last game I ended up watching. I probably watched some more before Sunday, but those are just a little, like some notes on the new quarterback for Kyle Allen. He needs to not fumble the ball so much. A lot of his interceptions are him trying to make plays. Sometimes it's not there. So that's a tough situation to see. But as you said,
hey, he's only played in 15 football games.
Yeah.
And he's got some experience. But the one thing I wanted to add, because he was undrafted, that I was looking earlier today over the top 10 undrafted quarterbacks. And I think there's 2 that you could probably guess. The other ones you probably don't know, you might know, but there's 2 quarterbacks. One I knew was undrafted and the other one I didn't know. But would you care to take a guess on the 2
were they
I'm talking
Redskins
about?
players or just in general?
No. These are just undrafted quarterbacks that had success in the NFL.
Undrafted quarterbacks that had success in the NFL. Kurt Warner.
Yep.
Kurt Warner was one. He was a grocery store man beforehand. Is that the one you knew or did not know?
No, that's the one I knew. As soon as Zabin asked a question today, I went to Kurt Warner. But the other one, I was kind of surprised. I didn't realize, but I don't pay that close attention to him anyway.
Other quarterback, okay, I'm going to need a little bit of a hint. Was it within this millennium? Was it after 2000?
It's in our division.
It's in our division. Oh, Tony Romo.
Yes. All right, maybe that was too good of a hint, but yeah, I mean, I think
forgot. You're right. Yes, that's absolutely right.
Jeff Garcia, like I said, Jack Delhomme. These are ones I'm not sure.
Jack Delhomme or Jake Delhomme?
Delhomme, yeah.
Oh, I know Jake Delhomme. I didn't know he was undrafted. He went to the Super Bowl with the Panthers back in 05 or 04 or something like that. Yep.
So I mean, there is.
Who's the other guy you said?
Jeff Garcia.
Jeff Garcia. He was for the 49ers,
he
right?
Was a 49er.
Yeah, 49er. Yeah. I remember Jeff Garcia. He wasn't anything special though, right?
No, but I'm just saying that because Zabin is, the sky is falling. He's saying if you have season tickets or spend any money on the Washington football team, I expect you to retract that money and refuse to spend it because Dan Snyder is an idiot, blah, 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 blah. And if he's going on today, I'm like, Steve, I like listening to you. Just shut up.
I don't. That's why I don't. He's all about. He's a negative. He doesn't care if the freaking team succeeds or not. He's all about the media. He's a media guy.
All right. So out of this top 10, I'm looking at Fox Sports top 10 undrafted quarterbacks. Who do you think is number 1? We have not mentioned him yet.
Really? It's not Kurt Warner?
No, they put him into number 2.
Holy crap. This guy had to have had a heck of a career to be over Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner took 2 different teams to the Super Bowl.
Well,
Wow.
I'm not saying I
Wow.
agree with
Okay.
it, but it's one other
Number
that
one.
he was before your time.
Number one
But
quarterback. Okay, who was it? I have no clue. No, Tom Brady was drafted there. If it gave me, he was drafted in the 6th round, pick number 200, I believe, right? Or 199, I think. Pick number 199. But all right, who's number one? I have no clue.
All right, so it's Warren Moon. His career numbers.
Fair enough. Okay. All right.
Hold on.
Okay. Warren Moon was a great quarterback. Okay, it's a little bit more fair. I don't know about better than Kurt Warner, but go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying he had over 70,000 yards passing, had 435 TD passes, and they've both been clipped, but he still ranks in the top 3 all time in both categories. So the most yards and the most really touchdowns.
Okay. I'm proven wrong.
I'm just reading. It's Fox Sports. It's not me. I'm just a messenger.
Warren Moon is a fantastic quarterback. I was surprised it wasn't Kurt Warner because he took 2 different teams to the Super Bowl, Arizona and, of course, the greatest show on turf, the Rams. And I had him as my fantasy quarterback quite a few years, and he would do me well, let me tell you. But
now they did say, I will say, they said Warner is arguably the greatest Cinderella story in NFL history. He went from stocking shelves at a grocery store to climbing the ladder of pro football, first in the Arena League and then Europe before finally making the NFL.
He played with a broken left arm. Go look. He had a cast on his arm like this, and he was taking. I guess he was taking the snap with one hand. I don't even remember how he did it, but he's playing with a broken left arm. Huge contraption. His arm can't leave his stomach, and he's taking this ball and just slinging it to Larry Fitz and Anquan Bolden. What's his name? Breston. I don't remember his name. Steve Breston, I think. Just slinging this ball around. So yeah, I love Kurt Warner. Everything about Kurt Warner. So that's pretty cool.
By the way, I take credit for saving you from being a St. Louis Rams fan, but I dropped you into the Redskins abyss.
You did this to me
for that many times.
Yeah, that's funny. So Spoiler for Gaming has who's the best QB to come out of the first round. I wonder if he has an opinion on this, but best QB to come out of the first round.
I mean, I'm sure he does.
Okay, so we have to go with accolades, right? So we can't just say I think right now the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks of all time is maybe Pat Mahomes right now. But my favorite quarterback to ever play right now is Peyton Manning. So in my opinion, he was the number 1 pick overall. Peyton Manning is the best quarterback to ever play the game. You watch him play. Nobody led an offense like Peyton Manning. He has the stats. He has the accolades. He has the regular season. For a long time, he had a better QBR in the playoffs than Tom Brady did, okay? I know everybody says Tom Brady's the postseason master, but it's very interesting.
Well, Tom Brady benefited from Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
But I will say, how would you like to be the guy that picked Ryan Leaf ahead of Peyton Manning?
No, that's not true. He went number 2, but because that was the thing where Peyton Manning said they were talking about, like, it was a conversation who was going to go first, and basically Peyton was like, if you don't pick me, that's a mistake, and they ended up taking Peyton Manning number 1. So it's a common misconception, but Ryan Leaf ended up going number 2.
Okay.
No worries. Spoiler for Gaming, of course, the Saints fan says Drew Brees.
News.
It's fake news. Of course, the Saints fan says Drew Brees have one of the best comeback stories, top 10, a broken arm. Yeah, it wasn't a broken arm. It was a dislocated shoulder the weird way. It popped out, like it landed bad, and it popped out the bottom, and he comes off the sideline. What's his throwing arm? Sorry, he's right-handed. But he comes off the field, and he can't put his arm down because the freaking shoulders popped out the bottom of his arm. Well, very crazy. A fantastic story comeback, that's true, and he ends up getting traded.
And I will say that he's impressive to me because he's, 5'10"? So the fact that
he's probably listed at 6 foot, but yeah, reality is probably 5'10" and a half.
He is not 6 feet. But the fact that he could do everything he did playing behind guys that are like 6'6", I think, how did he even see it, much less dominate and he did. He was amazing to be able to do that among, to be, like I said, at least 6 inches shorter than most of the guys in front of him.
Yeah.
maybe that might be an exaggeration, but you get my point.
4 to
But
5
yeah,
inches, and most quarterbacks are 6'4", 6'5". So yeah, I mean, even if
Yeah.
he's 6 foot,
I've
that's
never
still
had-
stupid short.
And in all fairness to the Saints fan, I've never ever had a problem with Drew Brees. Have always liked him, class guy. The one thing I did not like was when they were playing the Redskins and they delayed the game to give him a certificate on the field. I thought that was a little over the top, but that's only because I'm a Redskin fan. Nothing against him, but they handed him a piece of paper when he got the most yards or whatever,
the most touchdowns,
most touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they actually stopped the
No.
game. Brought his family
Was it the
out.
most career yards? It was the most career yards. It just came on a touchdown.
Right.
That's what it was. It was the most career yards, but it came on a touchdown. Yeah.
But I'm like, really? You're gonna bring your family? It's like, went in the middle of the first half. Whenever it was in the middle.
Spoiler Infant Gaming says Saints got short offensive linemen. That's how we do it.
Short and stocky.
Short, stocky offensive linemen. Yeah, they're just freaking 350-pound anchors at 5'6".
Yep.
We got you, Drew. Don't worry.
we'll crouch so you can see over us.
Yeah, no.
But
that's
hey,
hilarious.
listen, I'm sorry. I really got to run.
No worries.
But
I'll talk to the chat
think
for a little bit. Talk a little Dwayne Haskins. So, but yeah, we can let you
Great
go.
conversation. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And go Kyle Allen. I say we start a winning streak on Sunday.
And there you go. That's what Chrissy thinks. That's what Chrissy thinks. But all right, Dad, love you.
All right, love you too. Bye.
All right, guys, it's just us, just the chat. Very crazy story. I'm still on the camp of he did something to upset Ron Rivera. I know Ron Rivera is going to, he's going to be the good guy. He's going to talk positive about his man Dwayne Haskins, or about Dwayne Haskins. He's going to talk about his good things about everybody on his team. That's all he does. But I think this is an uncoachable decision. But Peyton Manning is my curtain goat until Drew Brees gets that ring. I'm sorry. Even if Drew Brees gets a ring, it's going to be Peyton Manning's my GOAT. Peyton Manning took teams to Super Bowls, 2 playoffs that had no business being in the playoffs. Okay, Peyton Manning goes down, his team goes 2-14. Tom Brady goes down, his team goes 11-5. Only missed the playoffs because the Jets and the Dolphins that year with the Wildcat formation decided to go 11-5 also that year and knock them out of the playoffs. They could have had another Super Bowl without Tom Brady, and Tom Brady is, again, the best game manager to ever play the game. Okay? But let's see. Chrissy also said earlier, I just believe that if we get Antonio Gibson 20 carries and 10 to 12 targets out of the backfield, we'll be more effective on offense. If Antonio Gibson is touching the ball 30 times a game, that's intense. I don't know if I'll quite give him 30 totes a game. 32 totes a game is what you're saying. I would probably do something more like, give me 20 touches a game. 12, 13 carries, and, maybe 20 to 25. That's where I think it is. To be honest, everyone saw this coming, bro. Most QBs show promise. Day throws 500 yards. Pro that promise Haskins throwing the ball in the dirt. That's not promise. Oh, Dak throws 500 yards. Yeah. No, it's not good. He was not playing well. I still would like to have given him chances, but I understand where Ron Rivera is coming from by saying, basically, I see a wide open division. I see a wide open opportunity. I'm going to give my team a chance to win by putting who I think is the better quarterback at this moment, because he's been in the system. He's been in the NFL 3 years. He's got experience. He didn't play horribly last year. He had a couple really good games last year that I just talked about. And a lot of his losses were tough losses, okay? Teams that he was expected to lose to. So it's very interesting what we could potentially get out of Kyle Allen. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting what we get from this season. These next 4 games are critical. Did Ron Rivera make the correct decision? And by next week, do we see Alex Smith as the quarterback instead of Kyle Allen? Because right now, Dwayne Haskins is getting no time with the reps. No reps. It's only Kyle Allen and it's only Alex Smith. Do they give enough reps to Alex Smith at practice to feel he's good enough to go against the Giants in week 6. Very, very interesting stuff. Yeah, spoiled it for gaming. Yeah, anyone can take the division at the moment, and Haskins is not proving himself overthrowing balls in the dirt. Sorry, but you need to be benched. Daniel Jones shows more promise than him. I haven't watched many Giants games, but I did watch the first one against the Steelers, and he had no offensive line. Like, you think Dwayne Haskins, some Haskins lovers think Dwayne Haskins has no offensive line? Holy crap. The Pittsburgh Steelers were just running roughshod in that backfield, and he ends up taking away with like 250 yards or something like that, 2 touchdowns to Sterling Shepard. Very interesting game from Daniel Jones. And talk about a lack of run game. Holy crap. Freaking, what's his nuts? Saquon Barkley had 6 yards rushing on the day. Big Ben Roethlisberger had 9 yards rushing. He had 1.5 times Saquon Barkley's total for the entire game. I'm sorry. Daniel Jones is an interesting thing. His best player's hurt. His offensive line is garbage. So, I don't know. The Giants line suck. I tell Giants fans it's not the wide receivers, it's the line. Can't block a soul. As I said, I've only watched that Pittsburgh game, and they were literally running free in the backfield all night. It was a Monday night game, that first one. All night long, they were in the backfield, giving them no chance. It was bad. So, I don't know. I have to watch more of Daniel Jones, but what I have seen of Daniel Jones, it's not terrible. And I think it was in that same game, in the Steelers game, he drove his team all the way down the field, and he was making plays with his legs, buying time, finding receivers open, and then, unfortunately, they get all the way within the 10-yard line, and he's, again, trying to make things happen. He's trying to be a one-man show, but he ends up trying to throw it off his back foot and gets hit as he throws and ends up being an easy interception. It's like, oh, dang, you can't throw that interception, but, I mean, you did everything to get us here. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even be inside the 10 right now, so it's tough. Cowboys about to fire everyone on defense. The film on defense is bad. Very bad. Check it out. It's terrible. I can only imagine, man. Russell Wilson, 5 touchdowns. Matt Ryan, 5 touchdowns. 350 yards rushing, did I hear, for the freaking Browns on Sunday? That's insanity. So Baker Mayfield didn't even have that great of a day. And also, Nick Chubb got hurt. So they did 350 yards. All right, I may be making that up. Let me double check it was 350 yards. I got to look that up because I'm pretty sure they ran 350 yards and Nick Chubb got hurt. That's insanity that they were able to do that. Double checking right now. Week 4, we got where is it? Did I miss them? There they are. Browns, box score. Okay, it wasn't 350. It was 307. Shoot me. Okay? Yeah. I don't even know who this D. Johnson is. Dearness Johnson had 1 attempt for 5 yards on the season. And then he comes back in, and this game, 13 carries, 95 yards. Odell Beckham had 2 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Jarvis Landry also threw a touchdown to Odell Beckham. That was impressive. Kareem Hunt, 11 carries, 71 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, before he got hurt, 6 carries, 43 yards. This Hiller almost averaged 4 yards a carry with 5 carries, 19 yards. And Mayfield had 3 carries, 6 yards. Yeah, not good. Not very good at all. 5-11, not very good. I love that saying. Chrissy, Terry McLaurin versus Jalen Ramsey should be good. Yeah, I don't want to see too many of... I would love to see Terry McLaurin against their other corners. Now, I do think Terry is good enough to beat anybody in this league. I think Jalen Ramsey is good enough to guard anybody in this league, so I think it will be a fun matchup to watch. If you like receivers, corners matchup, this will be a fun one to watch. I think that both of them will get each other a little bit. But Jalen Ramsey can't guard fast people at all. Him versus Julio. Julio was burning him almost every time. Matt Ryan missed him deep 3 times. I mean, you're talking about one of the best receivers in the game, probably the best receiver in Julio Jones. Okay, Julio Jones is burning you a couple of times a game, 3 times, like you said. Okay, shoot me. I mean, that's one of the best receivers in the league. But I mean, fast receivers get a lot of people. Even the best corners have trouble guarding. Tyreek Hill gives people fits all the time. I memean, he's almost impossible to guard. But my point is that good corners at least shut him down some of the time, at least play really good defense, block some, get some pass deflections, things like that. Antonio Gibson will have a big day Sunday. I hope so. I love that dude. I love watching him with the football in his hands. I hope he finally breaks out for that, 50, 60-yard touchdown that he did so many times in college. He had a touchdown every 6.5 plays, and a lot of them were big plays. His highlight reel was basically his entire career there at Memphis because, as I said before, Memphis basically had 5 Antonio Gibsons, including Antonio Gibson, and they were all in the teen numbers. And it was sometimes hard to pick out which one is Gibson because they had 5 of the same player on the field. And they gave it to a lot of different guys. And he actually lined up as a receiver in the beginning. But then they were like, okay, well, let me see what he can do as a running back because we have so many receivers and we're throwing the ball around so many times and he's not getting that many catches. So let's just give him the ball as a running back and see what he can do. And he freaking excelled at it. I think he only had like 33 carries on the year, but yet averaged like 9 yards a carry or 8 yards a carry or something. It was crazy. Kyle Allen about to throw 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Write that down. It'll happen. I got your sheet right here. All right, spoil it for beginning. I'm going to write it down for you. Where's it at? Got a bunch of notes in here. Where is it at? Is it one more sheet? Spoiled predictions. Here we go. All right. We got 3 touchdowns. I don't want to write it in pencil because then you'll suspect me of cheating and changing your predictions. No, so we got it in pen. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. You got a prediction on yards there? Chrissy does. Kyle Allen will have 250 plus yards and 2 touchdowns, says Chrissy. Kyle Allen will also rush for 50 yards. Wow, that's bold. That's bold. He did not rush 50 yards once as a Panther. Redskins 007, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel. He says, McLaurin is a next-level route runner. Nobody can stop him, at least not for 4 quarters. The real issue is if the QB can find him or has time to find him open. I 1,000% agree. McLaurin can beat anybody. He has legit 4.3 speed. He's got 6 foot, like 220 frame or something like that, 215. He's got a big body frame. Not the tallest guy in the world, but plenty big enough. He's got great hands, great route running. He's a top tier running or wide receiver. He can't put him literally in the same tier as DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones yet, but he's chasing him down right behind him, even in a busted offense. Spoiled if you've been with y'all running game, he will throw a lot of play action, and I thought he was really good at play action. At least watching his couple of games, I thought he did really well at the play action. He could sell it really well. I think he did really good in that situation. So I'm 1,000% that I hope you're correct. Mitchell Wusmus. There's no min there at all, so I don't know why I said that. But Wusmus, what's up, man? Welcome to the channel. He says Allen hit McCaffrey on 23% of his targets, and he had the best season he's ever. He's a new QB, so we'll run more, and when he throws, he'll hit Gibson. He will have a great game. Breakout time for Gibson. I see it. I agree. I like it. I hope you're correct. And I think Gibson has a legit chance to be good, even with Haskins at the quarterback position. I just think, we're kind of feeling him out, trying to see where he's at. But, he finally busted out against a good Ravens defense, over 100 yards in the air and on the ground. I think he had 46 yards rushing and 84 yards receiving. So, fantastic. I love me some Antonio Gibson. So, I 1,000% hope you are correct. But no, if we can move, one of my top 5 things we need to do to beat the Rams was to move Terry McLaurin around. Try to not make it an entire game of him versus Jalen Ramsey, who is a legit good corner. And while I think Terry can beat anybody, he could destroy these backup corners from the Rams. So if we somehow get him in a situation where he is not being guarded by Jalen Ramsey, and you get him on that nice action play that we were just talking about with Kyle Allen, get him deep downfield like week 1 against Philly last season, where freaking Case Keenum barely misses him on a bomb, but we hit him earlier in the game with the bomb. Terry McLaurin can do some big damage this week. And if we can get 2 tugs from him of 50-plus yards, wow, that could really help our team. Spoiled FM Gaming. People forget Allen started 4-1. They just stopped balancing the offense. If y'all run the ball effectively, y'all win. You know, he did start 4-1. You're absolutely right. He actually may have started 5-1. Hold on. I think he actually started 5-1. I had it right here. Let me pull it back up. But his big problem is that he started playing really freaking good teams. Yeah, he started out 5-1. He started out 4-0. And he even beat Tennessee. I mean, he beat a decent Arizona team. They weren't great last year. He beat a decent Houston team. They were okay. Jacksonville wasn't much last year. But they still had Minshew madness. And Tampa Bay was a hit or miss game depending on what Jameis Winston did, and he won that game. But as I said earlier, he lost to San Francisco, 13-3, Green Bay, 13-3, Saints twice, both, of course, they're 13-3. He lost to Seattle, 11-5. Russell Wilson, that's no, Joe Blow. And he lost to Atlanta, who was 7-9. But at that time, they were on a 6-2 run to end the season, and they beat both the Saints, 13-3, and they beat San Francisco on a last play for Julio. So he lost to good teams other than us. He lost to Washington. That was not a good loss at all. But what is that? He had 9 losses or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses. 7 of them against top tier teams. A double. It's tough. I wouldn't say Falcons are top teams. So fine, 5 of them against top tier teams, and then a really good Atlanta team who finished the season off strong. So there it is. Mike Pryor, do you see Alex Smith seeing playing time anytime soon? I mean, he's going to suit up. That's something that I would not have predicted. That's an amazing accomplishment in itself after that horrific injury. I've been saying this whole time he hasn't been healthy enough to play. If he's healthy enough to play, I want to see him on the field. I don't want to see Kyle Allen, to be honest. But I'm so happy to see that he is on the team. So good for him. I'm rooting for him. I hope he plays because he can win some games. Spoiled Epic Gaming, cool, 11 people, this is awesome. I know, it's awesome. It is, it's a lot of fun. Chrissy, yeah, I agree, move him around. Move Scary Terry around the field. Awesome. The Panthers had him throw 70% and ran the ball 20%, which is sad. Run the ball, he was missing the run game. Yeah, especially with how good he is at play action. If we run the ball, get effective run game going, I'm right there with you. I think that he can be a legit quarterback. I don't think he's going to be, anything spectacular, but I think we can win games with him. I agree. Yeah, but Carolina don't have a defense like we do. It'll help him out as long as he just do his job, which I believe he will. He'll put points on the board. I believe we take off from here. Hey, Chase Young is back. Defense should be good. It still sucks that we're missing Matt Ioannidis. I think we have some problems on defense still, and especially with Troy Apke and maybe a little bit of the linebacker positions. But I agree that we do have a really solid defensive line and a solid defense overall, and this could be... we get him in some good field position situations, and Kyle Allen could do some work. I agree. Spoiled FM Gaming, he almost beat the Saints the first time. He has the ability. I know it was a last-second field goal that he won. The Saints won, and he had, as I said earlier, he had 23 for 36, 256 yards, and 3 touchdowns in that game. Nothing wrong with that, especially against a good defense in the Saints last year. They were solid defense. Mitchell Wussman. What? This time I was about to say Williams. What am I doing? I don't know why. I said Min again, didn't I? Wussmus. Mitchell Wussmus. I see us actually getting Sims the ball deep. They'll be focused on McLaurin, and he's just as fast, if not faster than him. He should be able to eat. If Sims can be healthy for this game. He did not play last week, so hopefully Sims comes back to be healthy. Otherwise, we have Isaiah Wright, Dontrell Inman, and Antonio Gandy Golden, and Cam Sims played a decent amount against the Ravens. So none of them have the speed that Steve Sims has, but I'll be fine with Steve Sims. If he gets to the deep ball instead of Terry McLaurin, I'm all for it. But I would love to see Terry McLaurin kill it this game. Chrissy, and they don't have a receiver like McLaurin and Gibson. He has two great weapons in Carolina. He's just had McCaffrey, really. That's not true. DJ Moore was actually really good for them last year. DJ Moore is a legit receiver. He came from the University of Maryland. I like DJ Moore a lot. So he did have another legit weapon in DJ Moore, so I don't completely agree with your assessment there. But at the same time, I like Terry McLaurin a little bit more than DJ Moore. But DJ Moore was good. Spotify Gaming, if Kyle Allen gets you 6 wins, I would consider him a decent future. I think I can agree with that. So we have 12 games left. So if he goes 50% in the remaining games, he has a couple of tough games. I don't know. That's 6 is probably okay. He finishes basically at 500, 6-6. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Let's see here. Chrissy, you fixed the linebacker issue by putting Landon Collins at linebacker, changing his position, and start Cameron Kroll over Apke. Okay, well then who do you put as the strong safety? You replaced Apke, but you didn't replace Landon. I guess you're just saying a single safety, and you play, a 4-4 defense with 4 down linemen and 4 linebackers? It's an interesting idea, I guess, but I don't know. I'm not completely on the bandwagon with crap on Landon Collins. I think he's still a good player. I think right now, he's played a couple of really good players in Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, and they kind of make him look silly because they make a lot of people look silly. So I don't know. I don't completely agree with dumping on Landon Collins right now. DJ Moore is not Terry McLaurin. As I said, I think Terry McLaurin is a better weapon, but DJ Moore was a legit weapon for him. Mike Pryor, I think if Alex plays one NFL snap, it will be the greatest comeback from an injury in NFL history of the league. He nearly died. I would almost agree with that. But after Adrian Peterson tore his whole knee up on December 24th, I think it was Christmas Eve. It was at FedEx Field when he was in Minnesota. I was at that game, actually. And then the very next season, he came back and ran for 2,000 yards. That's a heck of a comeback from an injury, man. I mean, Alex Smith definitely rivals it. But I think you got to do a little bit more than just play one snap to beat out Adrian Peterson. If he comes back and he wins a game, maybe that's what we talk. If he can actually win a game, that's impressive. Spoiler Gaming, I pulled up the stats. Allen threw most of his pass to McCaffrey 40% of the time, but with the Redskins having the number one fixing check down problems and letting him move the ball downfield. I mean, 40% of the time you give it to McCaffrey. Are you really upset about it? He had 1,000 yards receiving last year, so McCaffrey was a good weapon to give it to. But I think DJ Moore probably got a lot of those targets as well. I know, at least on fantasy-wise, DJ Moore was getting a lot of play, especially toward the end of the year. We will get 9-10 wins this year. Book it. Chrissy says book it. All right, I got to make a page for Chrissy now. What do we got? We got Chrissy page now. I'll make you the yellow side. You're going to get the yellow J. All right, Chrissy. Chrissy says, he said Kyle Allen will have 250 yards plus and 2 touchdowns. And he says the Skins will have 9-10 wins. 9-10 wins. I like your prediction, man. I want it to be right. I don't agree, but I like it. Well, I can agree with the Kyle Allen. I can see 250 and 2 tugs. I can see that. But Skins winning 9-10 wins, I can't see that, to be honest. But I'm all for it. I love it. I'm right there. Mike Pryor, can't we go get Earl Thomas? Okay, see, every time Earl Thomas brings up, I always going to say this. I'm going to say this every single time somebody brings up Earl Thomas, okay? Only in 2020 can we forget a man was butt naked with his brother and a mistress, and his wife walked in and held him at gunpoint. Okay, I don't necessarily think I want this guy on my team. Everybody each to their own, but I don't really want to see that kind of nonsense on my team. All right, can we get some more people like Jonathan Allen? Okay, much more stable head on his shoulders. I like his leadership. I like the kind of person he is. Let's get some more guys like that. And I even like Landon Collins too. I like Deron Payne. I like Chase Young. I like these guys. But Earl Thomas, I think he's a little bit of a guy that I don't really want on my team. Collins don't exist there anyway. He doesn't exist as a safety, I guess you're saying. He just puts him in there at the linebacker, go 4-4. Yes, but if I'm giving no Earl Thomas's locker room problems. Yeah, I just explained what I think about my man Earl Thomas. Chrissy, I'm not dumping on Landon. He's just better and more effective at linebacker than he would be at a safety. And let's see what Deshaun Everett has. Okay, Deshaun Everett is mainly on the team because he's a special teams ace. You know, I messed up on my 53-man roster not to include DeShazier Everett because I did not think about special teams specifically. But mainly he's there for special teams. But, you know, maybe, but no, I'm not there yet. I'm really not there on benching Landon, okay? I think he's okay. I think he's fine. He's a strong safety. He's not a free safety, so he plays in the box. But, you know, putting him there at strong safety, I'm not upset about it. As I said, I think it's more that that Landon just ended up running against two of the best mobile quarterbacks in the league, and they made him look silly. And they did make him look silly. That stiff arm on Lamar, that was embarrassing. You go back to Arizona when freaking Kyler Murray gave him the little step, dancing moves. Made him look silly. Ran right into the end zone. It's not good. And then also he stands there. Where are they at? Oh shoot! Crap. That's DeAndre Hopkins. I kind of just let him 10 yards open. That's probably the second best receiver in the league. And I think I just left him wide open. Yeah, he caught it. Touchdown. Okay, let's move on to the next play, huh? Shall we? Okay. So he's been made look silly, which is going to be in the fans' minds, but I think he's all right. I think he's still a good safety. Like I said, Thomas was on that hardcore stuff that day. He was on something. That day. Chrissy, you're not benching Landon. LOL, you're just moving him to linebacker. He's more effective in the box. Okay, I'm not benching him. All right, you're right. Fair enough. Moving him to the box. I don't know. And I do talk about how we have some linebacker problems. So maybe it's kind of a weird play with like a Buchanan from the Cardinals play or something like that. All right, maybe. Not the most ridiculous thing you've said, Chrissy. It's not the most ridiculous thing. But still, let's keep him at safety at least for a couple more weeks. See what happens. All right. Mitchell Wasmus. Said it right the first time that time. I was watching film of college QBs and Trey Lance caught my eye. I don't know if you know about him, but he reminds me of Russell Wilson. I kind of like him. I've been talking about him actually for a little bit now. I completely agree with you. I love Trey Lance. He ran about the same 40-yard dash. I think he ran a 4.6 and Russell Wilson ran a 4.57. And, I mean, he's extremely effective, and he did not throw a single interception last year. I know he plays in the North Dakota State University division, but so did Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz is not bad. He's getting a bad rap nowadays, but I really like Trey Lance, and if we can somehow get our hands on him, I'm all for it. Wasn't Kyle Allen's PFF's lowest graded passer of 34 qualifying passer last season? It's a great question. Let's look it up. Kyle Allen, PFF. Kyle Allen, PFF. Can I go back to 2019? Panthers QB Kyle Allen ranked number 32 at his position by PFF. You said the lowest graded, so if it was out of 34, he wasn't, but he was number 32. You know, 13 fumbles and 16 interceptions is going to put you down on the list. So, I don't see what his actual PFF score was, but it does say he was number 32. So, there's that. Where are we at? Okay, spoiler if I'm getting Chrissy, he not bad, but there are no excuses when you ask all that money to a player like that. Yeah, but he was playing playoff teams, which he almost beat some of them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. His losses came to some really, 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 really good teams, okay? 5 of them were double-digit win teams, and the other one was the Falcons at 7-9, but they finished the season on a 6-2 run, they beat the Saints and they beat the Niners included in that run. So he lost to really good teams. The only bad loss was to us at 3-13. So, tough one. Let's see here. Chrissy, when they have him in the box at linebacker on Sundays, which they do play him at linebacker from time to time. Watch how effective he is when he's there. Note that. All right, noted it. Watch for Collins at LB. I got you, Chrissy. I noted. What player y'all think asking for a trade? Is there somebody from us asking? I'm not sure. You're right. There is no excuse, but he's got to be put in a position where he can thrive. You might be right. It's kind of like the Ryan Anderson deal that he should not be in coverage, or even the Ryan Kerrigan deal. Ryan Kerrigan should not be in coverage. You put them in positions to succeed, and they have better results. It makes sense as a coaching decision. So I'm not 1,000% disagreeing with you. I'm just not ready to jump ship yet. Okay, I'm just not ready. As you said, it's not jumping ship because you're still playing him. I just don't know. Like, is DeShazer Everett really a better option at safety, at strong safety, than Landon Collins? My instincts tell me no, that's not the case. So I don't think I want to put DeShazer Everett back there. I think we got to ride with Collins, and that's just where I'm at right now. And I wrote it down. If you prove me wrong, you can come back and talk about how crappy of a talk show host or whatever sports talk guy I am, and that's fine. Mitchell Wasmus. Wentz had some great years and got a Super Bowl ring out of it. Even 2 solid years from a guy in a row can do a lot for this franchise. We need a spark, and this division is a great place to get that. As I said, I love Trey Lance. I hope we get him. I would really love some Trey Lance. Wentz has some really good qualities about him, and ever since that ACL situation, it's not good. Wentz injury holding him back. Absolutely. You're 100% right, Spoiled AFib Gaming. All right, AFib Gaming, what you got here? Well, he is right. They put Cam Chancellor at linebacker, and he destroyed everyone who tried to come his way. He could be another Cam Chancellor. That's not a ridiculous thing. And, I wouldn't be upset about it if you're right and he does better. But me personally, I think I'm still playing him at strong safety. That's just me personally. Mike Pryor, I hate DeShazer Everett. I was talking to this girl and he slid in her DMs and he didn't end well, and it didn't end well for me. What? Mike Pryor, what? I hate DeShazer Everett. I was talking to this girl and he slid in her DMs and it didn't end well for me. You have one interesting life. Allen Robinson is for sure asking for a trade. I would love Allen Robinson. I like Allen Robinson a lot. I know Chris Cooley back in the day when we were looking at receivers, I think it was like 2 seasons ago before he went to Chicago. Chris Cooley had a lot of great things coming, talking about Allen Robinson. So if we go get Allen Robinson, I would not be upset about that at all. Allen Robinson going to Texans, write that down. Got you. I got you, AFib. Robinson going to the Texans. Honestly, that would not be a bad move at all. So I wish I thought of that one, to be honest. But you thought of it. Allen Robinson to Texans. Got you. It's here. No, he's not. He's coming to the Skins. Confidence is key, Chrissy. I'm with you. Rivera will not let him get away. Bro, who has the biggest wide receiver problem in the NFL? Who has the biggest wide receiver problem in the NFL? I know the Jets are not happy with their situation. Houston, I agree with you, is not thrilled. Let's see here. Thinking Patriots. Yep. Mike Pryor says the Patriots. I agree. Patriots. Let's see here. Seahawks are good. Cardinals are good. Minnesota's good. Detroit's, yeah, they got Kenny Galladay, so they're good. Packers are struggling at receiver because Devontae Adams is always hurt. So Packers. Jags, who they have? They have some interesting receivers. Chris Conley had a couple bad drops. So yeah, Jags are interesting. Dolphins. Devontae Parker is really like the one that comes to mind. I think they have like a guy named Jakeem Grant or something like that. Yeah, so they could probably use one. But Devontae Parker is pretty darn good. I like Devontae Parker. How do you feel about Ron Rivera's clock management? I'm not liking it. He's not allowing these young guys to get 2-minute drills, and those can decide a win or a loss in the future of games. Well, on Sunday, the 2-minute drill before the end of the half was not his fault. That was J.D. McKissick. Come on, man. You got to get out of bounds. He, for some reason, tried to stay in bounds like an idiot. You got to get out of bounds, and that really hurt us because that that caused us to have to burn a timeout with like 27 seconds left. Stop it. That was really bad. But as far as not calling timeouts, I prefer him to call timeouts. I think to try to win every game is the right way to go. And, I disagree with those. He made the decisions and he's going to defend them and stuff like that. But no, especially now where he's now like, well, now I'm trying to win games. It's like, okay, well, if you were trying to win games, why not? Against Arizona, try to make a comeback. I know it's improbable, but shoot, the Cowboys did it the same week. Come on, make a chance. Take a chance. Who knows? So, yeah, I'm not thrilled with his decision making as far as not calling timeouts at the end of the game. Jags not going to be good for years. Leave them out. Packers are fine. I don't know, man. Without Devontae Adams in the lineup, Packers are not that great at the receiver position. Obviously, they're good. They have Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. The AA Rons, they coming for you. AA Ron. Anthony Johnson, LOL, yeah, I seen enough from Kyle Allen last year where I don't want him as my starter, but at this point, I want to see if he can prove me wrong. Well, I'm sure you just joined us. Welcome to the channel. Glad you joined. Thanks for leaving a comment. That's always welcome. We're here after every primetime game, and me and my dad do a show on Tuesday, so I'll be here Thursday night. Tomorrow night, we'll be here after the game. I don't know who plays, but welcome to the channel. But Kyle Allen, we talked about it already, but Kyle Allen played really good teams and lost to some really, really good teams, okay? One more time, he lost to San Francisco, 13-3. He lost to the Saints twice, 13-3. He lost to the Seahawks. They were 11-5. He lost to another really, really good team. Crap. I'm drawing a blank. Who'd they lose to? Can't remember. Okay. But then he also lost to the Falcons twice, who were only 7-9, but they were on a 6-2 run at the end of the year, and they beat teams like San Francisco and Green Bay. Oh, yeah, and they lost to Green Bay. That was the other 13-3 team. So, Kyle Allen played some really tough competition, and he started off his career at Carolina at 5-1. He started off 4-0, and it was at 5-1 at one point. He's not that terrible. He needs to fix this fumbling problem he has. 13 fumbles is absolutely ridiculous in 13 games, and he also had 16 interceptions. So 29 turnovers coming from one player is not good at all. Spoiler if you give me, Adams is coming back next week. Yes, I know, but Adams seems like he's having injury problems. He was hurt a lot last year. He's hurt this year already. If they get Allen Robinson and they have Devontae Adams and Allen Robinson, and if Adams goes down, they still have Robinson, Aaron Rodgers will be a happy, happy camper, okay? Rams are interesting. They have Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, and they have a really good tight end in Tyler Higbee. So they need a running back more than anything. Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers and Malcolm Brown are not really the answer at running back that they would like. I think they need a better running back, but the receivers are okay. All I want for Christmas is one primetime game. You know what, though? Hey, we don't want primetime games, right? Because we were sucking for a long time, so maybe we can do better without them. We never get Monday, Sunday night anymore. Yeah, we have none this year. I don't even think... Do we have a Thursday game? We may play Thanksgiving, but that might be it. I don't even know if we play Thanksgiving. We may not even have a Thursday night game. It's crazy. Most of our games are at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Chrissy, we can dominate on defense. Their offense is Cooper Kupp or bust. We'll get Jared Goff on the ground, and he will have a long day. I'm all for it. I love the idea of our defensive line putting Jared Goff on the ground all day, every day. But don't sleep on Robert Woods. Robert Woods is fine, and don't sleep on their tight end. Their tight end can gash you. And Mark Andrews for the Ravens just killed us this week. Higbee can do the same thing. So we got to... They have a couple of weapons over there, and their running backs are young, but running backs are a dime a dozen. So Really doesn't matter, you know? All right, what else we got? Spoiled every game. Wait, think of the stuff they give up. Packers not giving up a first for Allen, and Jets holding on their 3 picks. Jags in rebuild. Jags in rebuild mode. They stingy with 3 picks. Texans got nothing to lose. They don't have a first-round pick to trade, though. Texans are out 2 first-round picks to the Dolphins. They don't even have a first-round pick to give them, so they'll have to send in a bunch of other picks, and I don't know about that. And they're 0-4. They're trying to get some things. I don't know. I don't like your prediction anymore. I think, actually, I like the Packers getting them because the Packers are right now sitting 4-0, and if they get another weapon for Aaron Rodgers is already a monster. You get him another weapon like Allen Robinson alongside Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. Come on, man. Tough times over there to guard all those players. And they could actually make a real legitimate run at the Super Bowl this year. Chrissy, he also probably didn't call timeout because he didn't believe Dwayne Haskins could get them TDs. Yeah, I don't care. Still call the timeouts. Give your team a chance. Make him prove that he can't do it. And then benching him now makes even more sense because you have a guy that can't do it. So I don't like it either way. Give him a chance. Notice the Chiefs got away with the tomahawk chop the other day, but we get busted for being racist. I know. It's terrible. Political correctness is nonsense. It sucks. Bucks, Bears. Oh, that's the Thursday night game? Golly. Well, at least we get to see Tom Brady. You know, I guess it's 3-1 teams, so it's better than what we have been getting. Jets, Broncos, Bengals, Browns. It's been some terrible Thursday night games, so I'll watch the Bucks, Bears. And he didn't call timeouts, like I said last time. They didn't deserve to win that game at all. They played poorly. Ron is telling them he's not going to bail them out when they're not playing their best. That's an interesting take. I don't know if I agree with it, but it's definitely an interesting take. So I remember you saying that. It's still, I don't care. You are supposed to bail out your team. I don't like this idea, actually, that you shouldn't bail out your team. You're the coach. You want them to win. You want them to succeed. So, you know what? No, put your players in the best position to win, even if they were playing poorly. Try to win the game. Adams is the receiver version of Jordan Reed. He's not that bad yet. Jordan Reed is on a whole nother level. But right now, he's showing that he's having problems. Le'Veon Bell going to win now franchise. I would love that. Somebody actually dropped Le'Veon Bell in one of my leagues. I scooped him up on the waivers. And I have him in another league, I think. At least one more. Maybe 2 more leagues. I think I have him in 3 leagues now. Please, man, go to the Rams. Go to the Rams. Come on, Le'Veon Bell, go to the Rams. Oh, I would love him in the Rams. And Todd Gurley 2.0 right there, baby. Come on, Le'Veon Bell to the Rams. They need running back help. All right. They didn't deserve to win that game. I love the no timeouts calling. It's showing he's holding them accountable so they can get better. Perfect coaching. Got to look at it from multiple perspectives. All right. I already had said my take on that. I don't know. It's interesting. We do play Thanksgiving. It's against the Cowboys. Okay, cool. So that's our one Thursday night game. Our Thursday game, I should say. I wonder if Packers will give up 2 first-rounders. Saints play Monday. Who do the Saints play on Monday? If they give up 2 first rounds, no, that's way too expensive for Allen Robinson. That's not worth it. No way. No way I'm giving up 2 first rounds. If our pass rush, don't turn up by trade deadline, Saints probably trading for a pass rusher. I can see that. I can definitely see that because you're in a win now mode for sure. You're 2-2 right now, but you're a good 2-2 team. Yeah, you want them to win, but you also want them to learn from their mistakes and grow. If he's bailing them out all the time, they'll no room to grow. They always think Ron will bail them out. Nah, I don't necessarily agree with that. They would see Ron wants them to win. He's trying to put them in the best situation. That's how you win over a locker room. So no, I don't agree with you on this take. I think that he should have called the timeouts, try to get his team to win, and they'll still grow either way, and they'll grow even more, in my opinion, because they trust their coach. They trust their coach is going to put them in the best spot to win games. So not the best, in my opinion. Bailing them out shows confidence. If he calls those timeouts, he's telling Dwayne he believes he can get it done. I'm more with Mitchell Wasmus. Am I saying your name right? Tell me if I'm saying your name right. I believe more of what Mitchell Wasmus is saying, that bailing them out shows confidence. I agree. Well, I don't know if it shows confidence, but I agree that it's a better look that your coach is trying to win you the game, and it's, whether he thinks you could do it or not, he wants to put you in the best spot. I don't know. I'm not a sandbagger. I'm not somebody that holds back or anything. I'm going to try to win the game no matter what. It's almost to a fault. So I'm in the camp of you always, always, always try to win. Yes, you are showing confidence. I mean, I guess that's the way to put it. I don't know if I would put it exactly that way. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know if I would put it exactly that way. Hey, Chrissy, how you feel about Texans trade Watt at deadline for space purpose? Because I think Texans going to rebuild mode. Any opinions? They're young, no vets. If you're telling me it's a vet locker room, fine, I agree. But they're young, so with young kids, you got to let them learn from their mistakes, not hold their hand. If it's vets, then I'm with you. I mean, we are a young team. Not denying that at all. But you obviously have some vets, but it's the main. I know we're an extremely young team. There's no doubt about it. Very, very, very young. Especially our offense. Offense has got to be probably one of the youngest in the league now that we got rid of Adrian Peterson, and Trent Williams. I don't even know who we have that's really old on the team. No Vernon Davis. We have a extremely young offense. I don't care if you're down 30 with 2 minutes left. At least try to look competitive. I mean, at that point, you have no chance of winning. Like 0.0000000 chance of winning. So, I don't know. That's a little different. But, as far as down 15 with like 4 minutes to go, anything can happen. All right? Call your timeouts. Texans are going to keep J.J. Watt. They're paying him all that money. I don't think any contender would want his contract, especially if he can stay healthy. Spoiled AFib. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's a big risk trying to go get J.J. Watt. He's so injury prone, especially in the last 4 years. It's risky. But at the same time, the Texans are 0-4. They ain't got nothing really showing for them except a good young quarterback. Maybe trading an old J.J. Watt for some capital, getting a first-round back or something like that, because they need some capital now because they're in trouble with, I think they said, they're paying like $265 million in cash this year to players, and they have no first-round picks for the next 2 years, and they're sitting at 0-4. Bill O'Brien put that franchise in the dirt, in the ground. So, tough day. Tough day. Tough day. Whew. Been on almost an hour and a half. It's been fun. It's been fun, ladies and gents. It's been fun. Now, if a team like us, it makes sense because you can rotate him and keep him fresh. Plus, we have cap space. I would trade Landon for him because the contracts would match perfectly. Makes sense, but looking at the market rate, Watt is on that trade seat because of their stupid trade. Then Texans not a good draft team. It would have a lot to be a deal like that for it makes no sense. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. All right, ladies and gents. Thank you for hanging out with us. Some big news. Haskins no longer the starter. Kyle Allen in. We have a big day against the Rams. Let's try to get a W. We could potentially take the first seed back. Who the Eagles have this week? Who we got for the Eagles? Eagles. Eagles have the Steelers. They're going to lose. We could potentially take the first seed back. Let's do it. Let's beat these Rams, all right? But yes, thank you guys for sticking around. Thanks for watching. We will be back tomorrow after the Bucs-Bears game, and I have the Bucs winning that game. I don't think the Bears are the real deal. I love the Bucs right now. I think they're really well coached with Bruce Arians. They have a good defense. They have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time who has some freaking awesome weapons. Rob Gronkowski might have a big day, and he has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. O.J. Howard on the other side is another tight end. This team's legit. I like the Bucs to win this game. But, all right, guys. Till next time, see ya.